Hiya guys, my name is Jamie Robinson. I'm from Preston, and on the 11th of July 2021, I was shot with a 9mm handgun through my mum's door. I'm going to tell the story. I want to say my side of it, and just let people know the ins and outs of it really. I've got loads of stuff to put up, like I've got videos, interview with my mum who was stood when they got shot. My brother and his partner turned up 5 minutes later. They turned up to the scene. I've got interviews with them and how it unfolded for them. I've got on my profile picture, there's an x-ray of me with the bullet in me. The bullet's to the left, it shows like the path where it's kind of gone through. I'm going to do another video of me showing my injuries from the shooting. I've got off big chunk on my arm was severed. The bullet's gone through my arm, through this side of the stomach, come out the back of there. So I've got a scar from there to there. I've got a bullet hole entry there, and I've got a bullet exit there where they picked the bullet out. And I've also got a stoma bag. Not many people know that. Nobody's seen it. Even my partner hasn't seen it. I don't take my top off around my kids, around my missus. But I'm going to do a video and I'm going to show my stoma bag. I'm going to show my scars. I'm going to shave my chest. I'm going to show you with my chest hairy, and then I'm going to shave it so you can see the scar and the bullet entry and everything like that. And I'll explain and go into the ins and outs of everything else, right? So then it was the night England played Italy in the Euro finals. I decided to go out drinking to the Saddle pub, which is about 10 minutes from my mum's house, 5-10 minutes. I went with my son, his friend, and just other family members basically. So the game was going alright, everything was alright. I was drinking pints, but my son later on told me I was drinking double vodka, so I was pissed. I didn't know I was pissed, but I was pissed. Everything I'm going to tell you is all facts from what I've seen and what happened to me. The CCTV that I've seen from the trial, of everything at the trial. These two people who got done for it, Paul Maths and Daniel Quinn, got 20 years and 18.5 years. They got not guilty on attempted murder, but both got guilty for Section 18 and possession of a firearm with intent to endanger lives. So they got 20 and 18.5. I'll go into the trial on a different video because the trial was it was a horrendous time for me. It was I'm going to tell you everything, every little detail about it all. I'm also going to do a follow-up video on my life. So I've done 2003 to 2014, every Christmas, every birthday. I've done probably 14 years out of my life. I'm 38 now. I've done 14 years in jail. I've got 5 kids, grandkids, and I'm going to tell my actual life story in a different thing. I'm going to do this one about the shooting. I'm going to explain about what happened at the trial in a different one, and I'm also going to do a part 2 on me about my life growing up. 12 months ago I was injecting heroin, believe it or not, but I'm off that now. Everything's running smooth, and I was on it through the shooting, and my life's been a nightmare. But I'm going to explain everything from the bottom, everything, all the ins and outs of every little single thing that's gone down. So I was in the pub watching the football, got to after half time, about the 51st minute. I can't remember anything from 51 minutes onwards. Not a single thing. Like everything I know, I've seen on CCTV and I've been told. So we're in the pub having a drink, and once one end of the pub kicks off, it goes off, everyone starts fighting. So as we start walking over to see what was going on, Paulie and my son's friend had an argument at the pool table. So my son's friend has run out of the pub, Paulie's left, gone wherever he's gone to meet his mates. My son's friends run off. Got my son come and got me. He said, "Dad, it's kicking off." As we walking over to the crowd of people fighting, Paulie's come behind me, bottled me and run off. So me and my 2 sons have chased after him, but there's a bit of a fight in the pub on CCTV. It's embarrassing because I'm pissed and I'm falling over, but either way, we're having a little bit of scrap. The telly gets thrown off the wall at wherever, and then he runs off out the back of the pub. We chase after him, we catch him round the front of the pub, and my 17-year-old put him in a headlock, and my 17-year-old said he went limp. But as he went limp, me and my 18-year-old son are both still doing, we're doing whatever we want to do with him because he's choked out kind of thing. And we went over the top, way over the top, and it was, for him, it was probably an alpha thing, like bit of a name for himself or whatever. And he didn't want to look embarrassed, so he's come back and he shot me. Like, so he bottles me, we chased him, we levered him outside the front of the pub. We go way over the top. The police turn up. The police put me and someone else in the back of the right van to go check the CCTV. For some reason they come back and said I wasn't involved, but I was involved. I was involved in it. I was doing a fray that I caused. So they come back, they let me out, said, "You're not on the CCTV, you're free to go." So my mum's there, she picks me up. I go in the car with my mum, 10 minutes from there, go home. But as I've gone home, Paulie's also left the pub after we've given him a good hiding. He's gone to Home Slack in his Land Rover that he's tracked up. So the police, because he was a higher one, because he was in a doing whatever. So that's tracked up. They've got him trackering from his van, his Land Rover, to Quinny in Holmeslack. They've jumped out of the car. They jumped into Quinny's Focus, which is a rental, which is also tracked to driving up to outside my mum's house. They've got the exact tracker movements of this Focus with him and put Paulie and Quinny in it. They had the gun on them. They left bullets outside where they loaded the gun up. They left unused bullets on the ground. The police found them. You can see them on the internet. If you type in shooting Preston, you scroll down, you'll see it. It shows a picture of the Focus and the 2 kids that done it, so on and so on. Where am I up to? And my mum's took me home. We've gone home. Sorry about that. I was a bit tripping out a little bit. We've gone home in my mum's car. Sorry. I've gone to my mum's house. I'm watching the penalties in the living room. So I've gone to the front door. My mum was took the key out the door, so because I was pissed, and I went to go out to the pub again, and she locked the door, took the key out. I've got a fag. I've gone stood behind the door. There's a bit of a disagreement between me and my mum of what I was doing, but I think I was crouched behind the door. Either way, I was either crouched or stood behind the door. I'm having a fag. The door's locked. There's a knock at the door. I'm thinking, I'm not expecting no one. I didn't think nothing of it. And I shouted, "Who is it?" Or my mum shouted, "Who is it?" Or my mum shouted, "It's not." They shouted, "It's the police." And my mum shouted to me, "It's not the police," or something. Or whatever. There's a bit of a thingy there. But either way, they said it was the police. And by the time I looked at my mum, and she looked out the window and she looked back at me, I thought she'd done this, and I thought when I got out the coma, I said she turned around and said that to move, they've got masks, but it was too late. They started shooting through the door. As soon as they said it's the police, we had a second, 2 seconds, and then banged through the door. Mum said she had 2 shots. I had 2 shots. The police only found 1 bullet. But I'm behind the door when the fag, and who's the police, and then I hear a bang. Like, my ears got stunned. I didn't know what was going on. My ears literally popped. I was thinking, what the flipping hell's going on here? Like, what's going on? I was just tripping out, and then I felt a burning pain, and I looked at the wall at the side of me, and there's blood spraying on the wall, and I'm like, what the fuck? It was mad because the bang of the gun kind of stunned me. So I looked round, I seen blood, and I looked at my arm, and my arm was just mangled. It'd gone through a tendon or whatever and ripped through. I'll show you the pictures on my injuries. It went through my arm, into my stomach there, and out of the back there. Rupturing my intestines and stuff like that, but the bullet got stuck an inch into my skin there, and the doctor was told by the police only get the bullet out with plastic tweezers, don't touch any metal, get the bullet out. So they got the bullet, the surgeon. I've also got an interview with the surgeon about my reversal to the stoma bag, which is in April. I've got a conversation with the surgeon who told me I only had a little bit of time to live if they didn't get there, and Sarah wanted to wrap my arm up afterwards. But either way, I remember being shot, the bang, and my mum screaming, and it was just mayhem. She was panicking, didn't know what was happening. My arm squirted, and mum was like, "You've been shot, you've been shot, you've been shot." So I'm like, what the f, I didn't know what happened. So like, mum went, "Make sure you stay awake, stay awake, stay awake." And I said, I am. And as soon as I said that, I remember my breath going, and I couldn't get I went, "Mum, my breath. Then I wake up about a week later, just come out of a coma, and they wake me up. And as they wake me up, there's 2 on response stood either side of me. But my mum had rung the nurse and said, as soon as he comes around from the coma, make sure you go straight to him and tell him he's not in trouble, so we don't panic. So, but as soon as I woke up, I remember thinking to myself, England have lost on penalties and I've been shot. So I don't know how, but I just knew what had happened. But like, I'd gone from the door to the living room, and there was blood all over. My mum had slipped, and she'd done a hip in, and she slipped on all the blood. And I've got mum's got a Patterdale cross of a Lakeland Terrier dog, a blood dog, and as soon as I started bleeding blood, the dog locked onto my leg. I can't remember it, I've been told this. The dog locked onto my leg because he's a hunting dog. He's seen blood and he thought it was time to kick off, and he locked onto my leg. Either way, like 5 minutes later, my brother and my mum turned up, my brother and his girlfriend turned up. She wrapped my arm up, and the surgeon even said, if Sarah wouldn't have wrapped my arm up, I'd be dead. So Sarah saved my life. People say she never, I know she saved my life, so people can think what they like. If she wouldn't have wrapped my arm up, I would be dead. Mum said there was blood leaking inside my body, and that's why I would have been dead. But either way, 15 minutes long, I would have been dead. We've got the interview with the surgeon. I'll also put that on another video. What else is it? After I got out of the hospital, we get a phone call, me and Abby, and the phone call is basically social services saying, if you do not take your kids to Newcastle now, Abby, without Jamie, we're going to lift the kids off you. We're taking them out of your care, because if the gunman comes back, because shooting happened at my mum's house, remember, if the gunman comes back, the kids might be there at risk. I understand why social took them away, but the worst time of my life, suicidal, like you won't believe, I started injecting heroin, and my head was majorly up my arse kind of thing. I'd had my kids taken off me. She was away for about 5 months or something like that. I had to go to the contact centre in Skelmersdale on a Wednesday for 1 hour to see my kids when I've gone from a full-time dad to being a dad. There's been, like, I was on courses 10 hours a week. I was going to social services and meeting criminologists and drug workers and gambling people, and I'm meeting all kinds of social services. Went into every single thing of our life. Like, I had to do a drug test, it come back all crazy shit in my system, and that's another time, that's another story. I'll go into ins and outs. I just want to go focus on the shooting right now. But yeah, it was a mad time. Like, I've got an interview with my mum, my brother and his girlfriend. That's going to be the next one that I put on. Then I put a part 2, and then I put a video of Abby and the kids. You can meet my kids and stuff. My little boy is one JJ, Jamie Jr. He wasn't even alive. She was pregnant by the time of the shooting. So he's now here, and I'll show you him. He's an unbelievable, such a happy baby, the happiest baby I've ever come across. I've also got 5 and 6 year old girls, and I've got 17, 18 and 19 year old boys, and I've got a granddaughter on the way. So I've got it, and I've been in jail for 14 years of my life. I've been on heroin, I've been shot. I've got an unreal story, some crazy stories to tell you, like. So, but I'm gonna explain everything. I'm gonna talk from my heart, like. And if it brings awareness to a bit awareness to guns and thingy, because I tell you what it is. Everyone wants to be a gangster till it comes to doing gangster stuff. I've done years and years in jail. I class myself as a hardened criminal. When it comes to it and the pressure's on, and your mum sees a shooting at the side and she's pressing charges, and everyone's on you, my brother, my partner, my kids get taken off me. My head was up my ass, I was on heroin. I stood up in court. I didn't say no names because I didn't see who shot me. I didn't put anyone in. Paulie was the one that grasped on me, but I'll explain that, and I'll get all the interviews and the taped interviews from the police and the court transcripts, and I'll put everything up so everybody can see it. It's a good, as bad as it sounds, it's a good read, like. So, but my mum and my brother and his girlfriend will be a belting one, because they was there when it happened, like, they seen everything. So, yeah. And as for Paulie and Quinny, like, going to getting 20 years and 18.5 years, like, some people say to me, they deserve it. Like, me personally, I think it's a little bit too long. I didn't want to, but trust me, my life, giving evidence, honest to God, it was one of the worst things in the world. People walk past me and don't speak to me, which I kind of understand. I get where the grass comment comes from. I understand that, but it is what it is. I'll take it on the chin. My kids are safe, my missus is safe, I'm safe, and I'm still alive, and I've still got the rest of my life to live. So, yeah, guys, if you could subscribe and get me moving, you want to see more videos and more content. Honestly, the content's going to be belting. Like, just look at my profile pictures, an X-ray with a bullet. Like, I'm not trying to big up what I've done, but it's a good story to tell. So, I'll speak to you all soon. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.